Welcome to my preview of the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl at 11 a.m. Friday, December 31st. It's going to be featuring a number 17, 10-3 Wake Forest going up against a 5-7 Rutgers. Now, at the time of me making this video, it wasn't said what channel it was going to air on, so I didn't say that bit in my introduction here. I'm still not entirely sure. I would assume it's ESPN, so maybe as soon as I find out, I'll put it in the description of this video, or you can always look it up yourself on the ESPN app. So that was not too hard to find out. But I'll make it easy. As soon as I find out, I'll put the link, not the link, but I'll put what channel it's going to be on in the description of this video. But this is the game. This is the roller coaster year of college football, of the bowl game. Maybe we can start a bowl season. Maybe we can start to get off the roller coaster here. So many teams backing out due to COVID. We probably have some more, honestly, that are going to come along the way. But Rutgers, not a team that was supposed to be in a bowl game, and here they are sitting in bowl season. That's why we don't have a channel assigned, because this bowl game, wasn't supposed to happen. If Wake Forest, Rutgers, Texas A&M backs out. Looks like it's going to get canceled. They find a team to step up. Rutgers ends up earning it on their APR ranking. So smartest team in the nation, highest. I think it was a propagator of the highest overall last few seasons. That APR ranking, they had the #1 APR ranking in the country. So they were the first 5-7 team to be asked. And this is a team that has not been to a bowl game in a very long time. We'll talk about that here in a second. But this is a team that has not been to a bowl game in a very long time, and they jumped at the opportunity. It's going to be interesting. They're not going to be prepared. It's a team that hasn't played. I wrote it down here. They haven't played a game since November. I think it's November 28th was the last time they played a game. It's probably written down here. I just can't find. November 27th. That's it. November 27th was the last time that Rutgers played a game. So this is going to be historic. I haven't gone through and looked at every single year, but I can say I think with 100% certainty that this has never happened in college football before. So this is going to be an exciting one. A lot more eyes on this matchup than might otherwise happen when you have a 5-7 team, or even when you have some of these 6-6 teams in bowl games. This is going to be exciting to watch. But Rutgers, obviously not the favorite in this one. In fact, it's so developing that there's not even a Vegas spread, but Wake Forest given a 76.6% chance of winning this game. Series history, these teams have actually met before. Wake Forest won both those games, 1997 28-14 win and a 1999 win 17-10, but they haven't met in the modern era of college football. So a chance for Rutgers here for the Knights to come in and see if they can establish themselves, get to that get to 6 wins on the season, which would be a major upset. But crazier things have happened, and I think that I speak for everyone. We say we are excited to see what Rutgers is going to throw at Wake Forest. It's bowl season. Teams already kind of get a little crazy in bowl season anyway. Well, that's going to be especially true in this game, where Rutgers has nothing to lose in this one. I mean, literally, they have nothing to lose. They could go out there and do anything, and they have complete autonomy and ability to do that, because no one has any expectations for them. It's going to be incredible to see a team fly, backyard football, seat of their pants, see what Rutgers can do in this bowl game. How do these teams, record reviews here. So for Wake Forest, shooting well above what was expected of them this season. Athlon Sports thought they would go 6-6. I was thinking a little better than that. I thought 7-5. Blew us both out of the water. As a team that's went 4-5 last season, 8-5 the year before that. Has not been a team that's established themselves as a top team in the ACC. Well, they did that this year. Almost won. Well, the game wasn't big. Wasn't a good game overall. They got blown out against Pittsburgh, but they got themselves to the ACC championship game, which is something that I don't think anybody was predicting for this Wake Forest team. I'm pretty sure that not even their own fans were predicting that they would get to that game, and they did. So a team that was really shot above average. For Rutgers, I mean, this is team 5-7 is actually a good year for them. So they haven't had they haven't had a bowl eligible season. They haven't gotten to 5 wins since 2014. It's been 7 years since they were able to get to bowl eligibility, to get to a 6-6 or greater record, and they went 2-10. So it was projected that they would go 2-10 this year. Athlon Sports was saying 4-8. I was saying 2-10. Ended up getting to 5-7. Got themselves into that's kind of just outside the cusp. I'm sure they did not expect to be invited to bowl season, but the fact that they were even able to get to 5-7 is still a big win for this program that, like I said, hasn't been to a bowl game in 7 years. So how did these two teams? So like I said, no, they haven't, and it's even worse than that. They haven't even had a 5-win season since 2014. In 2014, they went 8-4. But they haven't gotten to a 5-win season since then. It's been 7 years since they even got to 5 wins. and they managed to get to 5 wins this season, and lo and behold, it gets them into the bowl game. So how do these two teams get to that point? Well, Wake Forest, they started off amazing run. 8-0 from not ranked to number 9 in the nation, including a 58-55 win over North Carolina. I mean, that is a huge step forward for this Wake Forest program. Then they finished off the season 2-3. So they're sputtering down the stretch. Teams kind of keying in on their main target, their main offense, which was that passing offense, kind of figuring things out a little bit. Losses to good teams, Clemson and Pittsburgh, but going 2-3 down the stretch there. They did, however, in that 2-3, they did manage to get a win against NC State, a good NC State team, a shootout there again, 45-42, but ultimately losing in the ACC championship game. Rutgers, they actually started off the season great. They went 3-0 to start the year with wins against Temple and Syracuse, which is not necessarily a place that Rutgers has been in, going out and winning those type of games. That's really not a spot that Rutgers has found themselves in, and they managed to start the season off 3-0, and that is a big part of the reason. I mean, if they hadn't done that, they wouldn't even be in this conversation to be able to play for this historic moment for this program. Like I said, it's a team that last year went 3-6, and the season before that went 2-10, and hasn't won 5 games in 7 years. And they managed to start the season 3-0. Now, after that, they would go 0-4 against. Now, 3 of those losses were to top 10 teams. They would go 0-4 to finish. It's kind of midway through the season there, but then they would finish off the season 2-3. They would just miss out on getting to traditional bowl eligibility. Their last game was a loss to Maryland, a team that it's a Maryland team that has had a little bit of an up year this season, and it ended up beating Virginia Tech in a bowl game that aired today. But it is a Maryland team that, you would think that a middle-of-the-tier team should be able to go out and beat. And Rutgers not necessarily proving that they've reached that level of becoming a mid-level team yet. But like I said, still a big accomplishment being able to get to 5 wins for the first time since 2014. So we're talking about top players for these programs. Well, for Wake Forest, it's their quarterback, the sophomore, who's actually played 4 seasons of college football, but sophomore because of redshirt and COVID years and all those exemptions. But Sam Hartman, 3,924 yards passing, one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. Definitely, I think, one of the best, if not the best quarterbacks out of the ACC. He and Pickett, definitely top quarterbacks there in the ACC this year. 3,924 yards passing, 36 touchdowns. He's also thrown, however, 14 interceptions, so high on the interception rate. That's what's led to some of these losses down the stretch. But he's also mobile. He's 342 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, and 3.1 yards per carry. For Rutgers, they don't have a lot of. It's kind of what you'd expect out of a 5-7 team. They don't have a lot of players that pop off the board at you. But their running back here, Isaiah, and I'm going to mess up his name here, but I think it's Pacheo. I think that's Pacquiao. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that last name there. If you've watched my other videos, you know that pronunciation is not my strong point. But he has rushed for 647 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 3.9 yards per carry, which might not sound impressive, but he really is the main reason for success. So he had all 5 of his touchdowns in 3 out of those 5 wins that Rutgers had. So when he scores a touchdown, Rutgers has won 3 out of the 5 times this season. So if he is able to have a big game, I think he's going to definitely be a focal point here for Rutgers, for the Scarlet Knights in this matchup. But if he's able to have a big game on the biggest stage in a game that a lot of people are going to be watching, the focal point is going to be on him. If he can have that big game, might be enough to keep Rutgers in this one a little bit longer than people are expecting. Again, I'm not calling Rutgers to win it. I don't think anybody is. I'm rooting for them to win it. I love the underdog story. I love this Rutgers story. I mean, this is definitely a 30-for-30 type story out there. I'm excited to see what Rutgers can do. I'm not projecting a win for this program, but I do think that they might be able to, Wake Forest definitely overlooking them for sure. I think that Rutgers might be able to keep things interesting longer than people are expecting out of a very, very fun and interesting bowl game. So keys to this game. So for Wake Forest, and I kind of just mentioned it here, is don't underestimate Rutgers. Now, yeah, they're a 5-7 team. They're a team that's lost to, not even lost to Maryland, some other programs along the way, but they've also have some losses here. It's hard to go and beat top 10 teams, and they have losses to 3 top. So 3 of their losses are to top 10 or formerly top 10 teams. So you kind of have to take that 5-7 record with a grain of salt here, considering that. The other factor here is that I think that motivation and history, what you are playing, if you're a player coming in, understanding that what you're doing is historic, which it is here, if you're playing with more motivation or more of a chance for more of a historic finish than the team you're facing up against, I think that is a major factor. And Wake Forest cannot be underestimating the importance of what those factors could do in maybe bringing out that Cinderella story magical win here for Rutgers. You really cannot underestimate that, and Wake Forest should be coming in well prepared for this Rutgers team. Hard to do with a short turnaround, but they should, whatever they can do, they should prepare for this team no different than they would any other team that they'd be facing. Because on any given Saturday, or in this case Friday, anybody can beat anybody in college football. For Rutgers, it's put those brains to use. You know, you're the smartest team in the NCAA. Go out there and prove it. You know, you're going to need to use intelligence to beat this team. You're not going to beat them necessarily matching up one-on-one across the board. Wake Forest definitely has you outmatched at pretty much every level. But if you have a chance to win this game, it's going to be through creative play calling, you know, outthinking every trick in the box. I'm thinking, you know, Boise State 2007 Fiesta Bowl level. That kind of go out there and just run every play that you think has the remotest chance of success. Like I said, you have nothing to lose in this one. So you're just throwing pasta at the wall and hoping that it sticks. Someone used that analogy a while ago and I've loved it. So, you know, you're just throwing some stuff at the wall and hoping that something sticks. You've high risk, high reward. There is no risk to you because everyone expects you to lose this game, and it's a game you weren't even supposed to be in. So go out there, have fun, have a blast. These players are definitely pumped and excited to be in a game that none of them have ever experienced. Nobody on this team has ever been in a bowl game unless they've transferred in from other programs. But as far as being in a Rutgers uniform, nobody in 7 years has been, or 8 years has, 7 years has been 8. So in 7 years has been to a bowl game. This is a historic moment for this program. Just go out and have fun. And so that's really key here, is put those brains to use. Go out there and see what you can do against the Wake Forest team and maybe beat them through the intellectual side, the trickeration side, and the playbook side versus necessarily matching up one-on-one trying to beat them on the go route, which isn't going to work. So as far as my prediction here, I think Rutgers makes it fun. I think they pull out some, you know, made-for-television, creative trickeration type plays that really makes it a fun one to watch. And has a good time of it, but ultimately I think Wake Forest gets the win that everybody expects them to in this one. But overall, one of the bowl games that, you know, surprise, surprise, you really didn't expect it to be like this. And I think it's one of the games that now I'm looking forward to more than I would have necessarily. Even if it was Texas A&M versus Wake Forest, it's still a good game. But honestly, I'm looking forward to this game more because this is unique. I'm all about the historic moments. I actually have a minor in military history. I'm all about the historic moments, the unique moments, the things that make things exciting and different, and that you get to talk about when you're, 60 years from now, when I'm sitting on my porch talking to my grandkids, get to say, I remember the day when Rutgers came in here and they weren't even supposed to be in a bowl game. Gather around, kids. This is a good one to talk about, So that's what I look for. I look for those moments that make sports history, and this is definitely one of them. So I'm excited to see what ends up happening in this game. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like, subscribe. I'm previewing every single bowl game. Most of my other videos will probably be a little bit shorter than this one, but there's a lot to talk about, and it's an exciting one to get into in this game. So thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like, subscribe. As always, go Big Blue.